Hi, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about British cultural traits you probably don't know about. If you're from the UK, you probably will know about all of these, but if you're one of my 18.8% of viewers in the Philippines, chances are you won't know about these. Yeah, according to the YouTube analytics, I have more people watch me in the Philippines than in the UK. So I wanted to make this video to educate you all about what us Brits are like. The first cultural trait we're going to be looking at is how we greet. Instead of saying hello, often Brits will say alright when we're meeting someone, and this is probably similar in a lot of other cultures as well. But then the interesting thing about in the UK, instead of saying, oh yeah, I'm alright, we'll say alright back to the person that said that to you. So I can imagine if a non-British person could see two British people meeting each other and they heard them say alright, and then the other one said alright back to that person, they'll be thinking, what is wrong with these two people? Why are they so desperate to know if they're alright, and why are they not even answering? But it's literally just an alternative to saying hello. We're not necessarily asking if you're alright, but we're just saying hi. The next trait we're going to be looking at, or tradition rather, is the annual cheese rolling festival that's held every year in Gloucestershire. Now, not everyone in the UK really knows about this, but it is quite popular, and it does have an international reputation as well. A lot of other countries know about this, and people travel from other countries to do this festival. And it's basically where there's a load of people lined up at a start line on a steep hill, and then they roll down Gloucestershire cheese down the hill, and everyone has to chase after it, and the first one to get down the hill wins the cheese. It's always a really steep hill, and there's always injuries. People often break bones. It's not like you can just run straight down the hill. And it's a very British thing, to be honest. I can imagine most Brits being up for this. And you would be surprised the amount of people that are willing to get broken bones just to win some cheese. Another British cultural trait is our sense of humour. If you've seen a lot of TV series set in the UK, you probably have a rough idea what this is like. And basically, we're really sarcastic and don't take ourselves too seriously. And a good example of this is when the British government let the public here in the UK choose a name for a polar research ship, and we chose Boaty McBoatface. Traditionally in the UK, it's rude to talk about money, politics, religion, and this is kind of similar in the rest of the world too, but it's a lot more so in the UK, and especially with older generations. I think nowadays it's a bit more common to be open about these things, but before, with older generations, they would never talk about any of these things. Even though you probably should to some extent, because it's probably healthy to talk about these things, especially religion, but we're very reserved in the UK and quite shy to talk about these things. And probably the most common and accurate British trait is that we always like to talk about the weather. If ever there's people making small talk in the UK, chances are they're talking about the weather. Quite often moaning about the weather, about how it's always raining, or about what they heard on the weather forecast. Or even if it's summer, we'll be moaning that it's too hot. And we are quite funny about weather in the UK. We can't seem to handle any extreme weather. It's often quite mild, the weather here. It's usually drizzling with rain on a typical day, but it's not too cold at the same time. But as soon as it gets really cold, or as soon as we get a small bit of snow, that's it. Everything has to shut down. And then in the summer, when it gets really hot, we get really over-the-top news reports about how dangerous it is to go out in the sun, and we all need to stay inside. And then that reflects on the public as well, and we all seem to talk about it, and we're very over the top about the weather and love to talk about it all the time. The last cultural trait we're going to be looking at now is that you don't always need to take your shoes off when going inside people's houses in the UK. Although you should always ask, because a lot of people still like people to take their shoes off. Often in family homes you are expected to remove all outdoor footwear, but in student houses and some family homes, people don't seem to care too much about wearing outdoor footwear inside. And this probably makes Asian people cringe, knowing that there's some people here that don't mind wearing outdoor footwear inside. But again, it's not everyone, and obviously if the footwear was muddy or dirty, I don't think anyone would wear them inside. But if you've just been outside on a pavement, which is a sidewalk if you speak American English, if you've only been outside on paths that are fairly clean, people don't think it's really that bad if you wear those shoes inside. And there you have it. Those were some British cultural traits you might not have known about. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.